What's up everybody, and welcome back to another Star Wars Outlaws video. Today we're going to look at patch notes. Now for Star Wars, I wouldn't usually cover patch notes. It's not a multiplayer game, it's a single player game. I would usually make a few guides on it or maybe a review and that would be it. But there is some very interesting things in these patch notes and I really wanted to know what you guys thought as well. So we're going to scroll down and we're going to see what we have got going on. First of all, they start off by thanking everybody who's played the game and is enjoying it, and that is great. That's great. But then they put, in this patch, we've focused on early feedback to address some issues you may have encountered and improved PC performance as well as overall stability. Additionally, cross progression and saves through Ubisoft Connect are now available, and you can read more about that in another page, which I think really interesting. There's many other improvements and fixes have been implemented to the game to make your adventure smoother, and you can find the full list below. Now for me, somebody that has completed the game already, the bug fixes and things like that are great, especially for things that are going to affect me, but they've physically changed the game, which I find extremely, I mean, it's great for people joining the game now, but it's a little, I think it's a little bit odd for them to go back and change things where people have, you know, the game's been out for a few weeks and, you know, now they're changing it. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's obviously a great thing because people who didn't jump into it straight away might think, do you know what? I'll jump into it now and buy it. But let's take a look at what they've said. So they put here, as we continue to work on future updates for Star Wars Outlaws, we'll keep on carefully listening to your feedback and experience in the game. Thank you for your support. All right, so this is what I find super interesting. They've tweaked and improved on some of the challenging stealth moments. So they've physically made the game easier for the stealth moments. And I believe that from having a look around on the internet, because obviously it's not given any very precise details here, that this is a lot of the stealthy moments at the beginning of the game that can be quite difficult. They've made these easier. As we talked about before, they've put in the cross progression, which I guess is great, but I'm not really sure how many people would own this multiple platform. They've done PC performance and improvements, which there's quite a lot of optimization that was needed, rolling around, you know, on rocks and things like that. It always got a bit janky, so I'm hoping that they've made changes there. Crash fixes on all platforms, that's great, because I did crash out a few times as well. PlayStation 5 people can now platinum the game because there's something wrong with the old school cool trophy. The hyperspace mission is fixed, you can now take off, which is great. And then various other bugs affecting quests, which is great. The patch is almost 2 gig on PlayStation, 2.2 gig on Xbox, and almost 2 gig on PC. And if we kind of scroll down here, there's nothing really you know, to write home about. Nothing that I'll put the link in the description down below if you want to read it yourself. But we've just got things like VRAM improvements on FPS, which is just kind of great. And then the graphics settings, audio stuff. Another interesting one that I see here, they put many additional idle animations for NPCs have been added across all planets. So they won't all be standing around looking the same. And now when you see them, they're all going to look very different because they've added many more. They've also put it is now less likely to be detected by rolling, and the level of detection has been adjusted depending on location. So I'm guessing some of the, you know, non-imperial type locations were a bit easier on in the beginning of the game. They probably made it that the level of detection is just that little bit easier, especially when you're having to sneak into places. And I'll do this without, you know, I'm going to keep this spoiler free just in case. But especially when you're trying to sneak into places that you are not friendly with, I'm guessing that they've made them bits a bit easier. Then they've added a bunch about side quests and main quests, which we won't go into. I'll put the link down below for anybody to read. But it is just, you know, like we talked about before, mechanics and issues with spawning and things like that. For if you're dying or if the game bugs out, they've fixed all them issues as well. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of go over this a little bit, and the main reason was because they've effectively made the game easier, made the stealth sections easier, and I wanted to kind of, to me, that, you know, I've been there, done it now and gone through it, it's not going to affect me, But I wanted to know what you guys think. Is this taken away from the experience of the original game that other people have already played through? Or were they so frustrating and unenjoyable they've had to make this change? So effectively now, is the game better than what it was? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Are seeing patch notes like this going to persuade you to pick it up if you've not picked it up already? Or maybe you might Ubisoft Plus it for the monthly fee, and then obviously you can cancel at any point because you do get like the deluxe version with Ubisoft Plus. So are things like this going to change your mind? Are you going to give it a go? It had a bit of a rough ride during launch, but you know, maybe this is taking it in the right direction, and maybe it will pick up a few extra sales because of that. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.